guys, and welcome back to the Shaanah Montana YouTube channel. And today we are tapping in with episode 4 of the You're Distracted series. And guess what? Today we are going to talk about goal setting, but we're going to get specific with the goal setting and using our SMART method, which I'm going to break down in just a moment, but making sure we understand what it takes to get really clear and specific about what goals you have, but not only in knowing what goals you have, but the plan in order for you to reach those goals while keeping those distractions at bay. Because we know you can get every distraction out of the way and you can have every goal that you want to achieve in front of you. If you don't have a really specific plan on how you're going to achieve that goal, meaning like a timeline, resources needed, when you're going to do it, how you're going to do it, who's going to help you do it, then you still won't achieve the goal. So that is why we are going to tap into the power of SMART goals, because they are game changers. And if this is something that you've heard before, great. But if it's something that maybe you've heard before or hadn't heard before but had never implemented, that's even better. So getting right to the money. SMART goals, the breakdown, the acronym. SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. And so you all can see, being specific, as I just said, what exactly is that goal? So the number one thing I hear people always talk about when it comes to the new year is everybody wants to lose weight. I think that's an easy one. I don't care if you want to lose 5 pounds or 50 pounds. So if you want to say very specific, I want to lose weight. We have to measure it. Okay, how much weight do I want to lose? I want to lose 50 pounds. Is it achievable? Is it achievable to lose 50 pounds in a year? I think it may be. Some people may say something different, but it is achievable. How relevant is that? It's relevant to the point that when it comes to my wellness and my health, this is something I need to do right now. And time bound, I put that I want to do it in 2024. Great. However, we're going to get into the nitty gritty of it, because to say I want to lose it in 2024 and think that you're going to rely on sheer willpower and motivation is foolish of you to think. And if you tapped into the book Atomic Habits, you would know that, because it tells you you cannot rely on just sheer willpower and motivation to do anything. You have to have a system and a plan in order to get there. And today we are going to talk about that plan by using the SMART method overall. And if you all cannot tell, I'm so excited to get into it. So before we go forward, I want to talk about making sure that as you go through this process, make sure that you have your Shaanah Montana journal handy so you can take notes, but also make sure that you are journaling through this process so you can keep record of what you are doing, the progress you are making, where you're backsliding, where you need to make changes, things of that nature. So having a journal handy is absolutely going to help you on this journey. Now, the first thing is understanding the benefit of setting a SMART goal. So what do you all think that is? What do you all think the benefit is? The benefit actually of setting a SMART goal, of course, is going to be to come up with a game plan of how you are going to reach that goal. Because when we think about goals that people may have in 2024, you can think about weight loss. People want to save money or make more money. People want to travel more. People want to start new hobbies. People want to just do all kinds of things for self-improvement. That's just the way it goes at the top of the year. But at the end of the day, in order for you to be able to achieve any of those goals, you have to understand, how am I going to stay motivated? How am I going to stay focused? How am I going to have a higher likelihood of me losing that 50 pounds I said I was going to lose in 2023 to actually do it in 2024 to get that real life outcome that I'm looking for, but also understanding that I have a game plan in hand at this point. And so it's going to be a little different than what I've done before, because to say, okay, I'm going to lose 50 pounds and I'm going to break it down and say, okay, I'm going to lose 5 pounds a month. Well, 5 pounds a month may sound easy in the large scheme of things, but we got to look at, what, in me saying I'm going to lose 50 pounds overall for the year, I'm going to lose 5 pounds a month. What other steps have I taken to make sure I'm doing the things as far as, working out, eating right, staying focused, staying undistracted, to make sure that I'm losing basically a pound a week to reach that 5 pounds a month. And if we don't come up with the plan and we just say, oh, I'm going to go to the gym. I know I'm going to go to the gym. When I've never been to the gym, I went to the gym twice in 2023. Why do I magically think I'm going to do it now? I'm not. And so that is why you have to come up with this plan to make sure that you are taking the proper steps and going in the right direction to get the things done that you say you want to get done. So let's talk about getting specific when it comes to the SMART goals. I think that is the most important piece. And just for the sake of the video, it's going to be easier for me to just stick with weight loss, but you can insert, weight loss and maybe saving money are going to be two things that we'll talk about just to keep the focus of what's at hand today. So getting specific and the power of that is understanding that, okay, if I say I'm going to lose 50 pounds in 2024, I understand that I have to break that down to what I just said before. I'm going to lose 5 pounds a month. 5 pounds a month looks like most times about 1 to 2 pounds a week. Okay, how am I going to do that? I have to get really specific and go look at my calendar and see, okay, what days of the week can I work out? What time can I go to the gym to work out? So am I going to work out 3 days a week? If I'm going to work out 3 days a week, am I going to work out in the morning before work? Am I going to work out on my lunch break? Am I going to work out after work? When I get off of work, or for my lunch break at work, what am I going to eat? What is my meal prep or meal planning going to look like? So it goes deeper than just saying we want to lose the weight. And what I find in talking to different people, what I find many times in talking to people is that we have these goals that are very, very, which I think are very attainable, very achievable, but we don't have these little specific steps that I'm talking about right now in order to build the habits to get to where we need to get and keep the distractions out of the way. Because if we don't have these plans, we'll wake up, we'll go to work, we'll get off work, we'll go home, we'll let the TV be a distraction, we'll let the phone be a distraction, we'll let people be a distraction, we'll let alcohol be a distraction, we'll let everything be a distraction. But the reason that it's a distraction and the reason that it hasn't stayed at bay and not being a distraction like we planned is because you don't have a specific game plan in place to stop yourself from being distracted. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? I hope so. So that's the thing. You have to make sure that you dive all the way into it to get really specific about what it is you're doing, where you're going, and what that game plan is going to look like. So once you've broken it down the way I just did, to say I'm going to lose, X amount of pounds each week to focus on the month and the overall picture, I'm going to plan out when I'm going to work out. I'm going to plan out what I'm going to eat. I'm going to plan out when I'm going to hang out with other people. I'm going to even plan out my cheat days. I'm going to plan out everything because, again, we are not leaving anything to sheer willpower or motivation. We are leaving it up to the system that we are putting in place, because at the end of the day, you do not fall victim to your habits, your bad habits. You fall victim to not having systems in place. And what we're doing right now in the specific things of the SMART goals is we are creating a system that works. Once we have a specific plan in place, the next thing is going to be, how are we measuring our progress, and are we setting ourselves up for success and being able to achieve said goals? Now, again, I'm always going to say, measuring your progress. Use your journal, write things down, get consistent, make sure you are outlining what's going well, what's working, when did I backtrack, when was I doing great, all things of that nature. But ultimately, measuring your progress, say if we're talking about saving money, or we're talking about losing weight, you can clearly see if you're doing what you need to do in order to save money, to see if that's going in the right direction. But when it comes to being able to measure your progress, you can also see that when it comes to losing weight. But the thing about it is making sure that you have put yourself in a position where you can win. Because if your birthday is in March and you say that you want to lose 50 pounds by your birthday, is that really achievable? Are you really setting yourself up for success? No, you aren't. So you have to make sure you're looking at things in a grand scheme of things to know, like, okay, I have this goal in front of me. I'm going to set it at a place where I'm going to say 50 pounds by the end of the year. That is literally 11 months from now. That is definitely achievable, versus my birthday's in March. I want to lose this weight. I'm setting myself up for failure. And that's absolutely what we do not want to do. So you have to make sure that you are looking at the goals that you have in front of you, that you are breaking those larger goals down into smaller goals, making sure that those goals are manageable and all the tasks that are associated with those goals are manageable, so you can reach the finish line successfully. And I think that ultimately, when you're checking your progress, you have to see that, what's working, what's not working, what things do I need to change? Is it, am I not getting to the gym in the morning because it's just not my thing? I'm going to have to go after work. Am I not eating healthy because I'm not taking the time on Sundays to meal prep? I'm out there doing Sunday fun day instead of meal prepping, or I'm meal prepping and I'm getting to work and I'm just not eating what I brought to work to eat because my coworkers, they're offering us to go out to lunch, and I'm just throwing away the goals I have because it's more fun to eat the other stuff. So again, what am I doing to measure my progress, to set myself up for success, to make sure I have all the tools and resources around me to make sure that I'm going to stay in the lane of success and not be distracted, and at the end of the day, holding myself fully accountable for whatever direction I'm going in with this. And then the last thing is going to be, or I'll say next to the last thing. The next thing would be just making sure that we are setting goals that are time bound and that they are relevant to the time frame that we're giving ourselves. And it goes back to what I said, overall, we can say we want to do a lot of things, but a method that I'm implementing in 2024 is something called the 12-week year. And it's a really, I would say aggressive plan. It's not for everybody, but it's something that I'm doing this year. And what it means is that in a 12-week year, we know that there are 4 quarters in a year. And what it takes is, and what the 12-week year does, is it says that every quarter is your 1 year. So you get 4 years out of 1 year. And what you have to do is really be super, I would say super disciplined and super stringent and really just aggressive towards the goals that you set for each quarter. Because the first quarter, say right now, January through March, this is my 1 year. So this means that everything that I typically would say I want to accomplish in 2024, I have to accomplish it within the first 3 months of the year, because this is my 1 year. So I'll tell you, one of my goals that I have in this 1 year, something I said I was going to do last year, and I kind of started and fell off because I was distracted. I didn't have SMART goals in place. I wasn't specific. I didn't have anything measuring my success. I didn't really know exactly how I was going to achieve certain things, you know. I didn't really put time frames on it, but I said I was going to focus on my growth on YouTube. And so I said, oh, well, I'm just going to post 3 videos a week. And I didn't sit down and plan out when exactly I was going to record those videos. I didn't sit down and plan out what the videos would be. I did not sit down and plan out when I was going to edit the videos, what the schedule was going to be, how it was going to compare against my life that I have with other things going on. Like, I did not come up with a plan for success when it came to that. And I was fortunate still that I started out last year doing things on YouTube, and I still had growth that happened. So it showed me that, like, even when I was bullshitting doing a little bit, I got results that I didn't expect. So I'm like, what if you would actually put your all into it and give it a lot? I bet you will get the results that you expect. So like right now, I am just under 500 subscribers. And last year when I started in like June, I had like 200 subscribers. So I was posting from like June to July, literally like a month or two. And I went from 200 to 300 to 400 subscribers just from a little bit of posting. So imagine if I got serious, like I'm serious now with my plan that's in my 12-week year, to post as consistently as I'm going to post. I've planned out when I'm going to record, when I'm going to edit, when I'm going to upload, what my topics are going to be, what it's going to look like for me to publicize on YouTube, on all my social media platforms. I planned out, you know, when I'm not going to be available to do these things, so I can make sure I go hard the week before, the week after, to make sure it gets done. But in this 1 year, my focus for this year is my growth on YouTube, because I want to monetize my YouTube platform, because that's another passive form of income. Once I get that going and I get that income coming in from monetization, it's just going to be a matter of me just continuing to post the videos. And if I build this system in this 1 year, I'll be able to keep it going, because I built that muscle, I built that habit. But not only have I built that habit, I have a system in place that works for me. I'm no longer just saying, oh, I want to grow my YouTube, and then not taking any steps consistently towards doing that. So for me, it comes down to recognizing that in my 12-week year, like my first year is going to be focused on growth. My second year is going to be focused on, you know, volume 2 of my journal collection and some other things I'm not going to tell you about just yet. But I was able to map out, literally, imagine looking at a calendar right now in January and mapping out your entire year to December. I had to map out my year to December in order to do this 12-week year plan, because you can't look at it and just say, oh, it's just a quarter. No, I have 4 years in this 1 year that I have to knock out. And so in order for me to do that, I have to look at my life for the course of the next year. So it takes a lot of planning. It takes a lot of things of being strategic. It takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of focus. It takes, like right now, normally tonight, I'll let y'all know right now, it is 9:50 p.m. Central, and I am recording this video. I normally would be in my bed like Goldilocks, ready for sleep, but I got things to do. And so some nights it's going to take for me to stay up a little bit later to get things done, and I'm perfectly okay with that. So I gave that example of myself to say that at the end of the day, when it comes down to setting those SMART goals, and I want to go back and repeat what the SMART stands for, because sometimes I forget myself. Specific. You know, are you specific in what it is that your goal is and what exactly you want to do? So are you looking to lose weight? Are you looking to save money? Are you looking to make money? Are you looking to start a new business? Are you looking to travel more? Are you looking to go to church more? Whatever that specific goal is. The next thing is you have to be able to measure it, measure the success. Of course, weight, you can measure, did I lose the weight? But when it comes to, did I save money? You know, what things do I have in place in order to determine if I'm going to be able to save this money or make this money like I want to? Did I travel more? Like, those are things you can tangibly see. The next thing is going to be achievable. Is this a goal that is actually achievable, or am I setting a goal that's like, wow, like I say I want to travel more, but I know that right now I'm kind of like living paycheck to paycheck. It may not be achievable, but if I get a second job, I'll have more income. but I have to look at if I get a second job, have more income, will I have time to travel more? So making sure whatever it is that you have in front of you, and you say you want to achieve, that it is something you actually can do. It's not something that, oh, well, I got to save up X amount of money before I can do that 2 years from now. That wouldn't be something that right now is a smart goal for you to do right now. Now, saving the money may be the goal, but the travel may be something you want to put on another list for another day. And then relevant. How relevant is the goal to what you have going on overall? How relevant is the goal to what is happening right now and you being able to touch it, see it, and achieve it? And then time bound. I think that's one of the most important ones. And no matter what we're doing, you can no longer say that I'm going to set a SMART goal, I'm going to keep my distractions out of the way, and I'm going to achieve this if I don't know the time frame, if I don't give myself a time frame as to when this thing is going to get done. You absolutely have to do that. So that's not something you can set to the side. So overall, it's about setting those goals, making sure you understand the benefit of the goal that you have in front of you. Gain clarity through your journaling as to why you have that goal in front of you, why you want to do this thing, why you want to achieve it, what benefit it's going to have on your life, how it's going to help you identify and become the person that you're striving to be. The next thing would be just making sure you're really clear about how you're going to specifically achieve that goal, because what steps exactly are you going to take to get there, and how are you going to measure your progress and hold yourself accountable in the process? And then at the end of the day, at the end of it all, what is your time frame to get it done? And I think ultimately this comes down to something that many people, I think in this day and age, you hear people online talking about, just being intentional and setting intentions in what it is that they want to do. What are you being intentional about in 2024? What goals are you setting? Why are you setting those goals? What energy do you want to bring to your life? What energy do you want to release? What do you want to do differently than you've done before? What do you want to see come into fruition? What do you want to release? So it's about just looking at the whole, it's about looking at the totality of things, looking at the big picture, understanding, okay, I have these goals, I'm going to achieve them. Like I was telling someone the other day, I feel like this year is just like lighter already. And maybe because I know I'm doing the work that I need to do, that there are just blessings that I know are on the way. But I always say you got to meet God halfway anyway. So ultimately, because of the blessings that I know are on the way and I'm doing the work that I need to do, I know this year is about to be amazing. And I want this year to be amazing for you. So for today's homework, I want you to focus on what your goals are going to be specifically for Q1 and Q2 of 2024. So whether you use your journal or you use your planner or you use a piece of paper, whatever it is you use to plan out your life and your day-to-day. And if you don't use anything, please start using something now, today, to now. And I want you to really look at and plan out what your Q1 and Q2 goals are going to be. So January, February, March, April, May, June. What are your goals going to be? I was talking to my sister. She was saying, I think one of the hobbies she wants to pick up is starting to take skating lessons. And it's like, that's a great thing. But you have to look at, for skating, typically, I think she's talking about just regular skates, not like ice skating or anything. You really only have, that's a summer hobby. So she can't do it right now because, hell, it's ice on the ground outside right now. And, of course, you can go to a skating rink, but, it's the top of the year, people getting acclimated. But if you want to be outside doing it, you have, what's that, April, May, June, or more so, depends on where you are. May, June, July, August. So you have about 3-4 months to get that hobby in. So you need to plan out. You have to plan out. When am I going to research and figure out who I'm going to get the skate lessons from? Figure out how much the skate lessons are. How often I'm going to go to skate practice, how often I'm going to go to the skate lessons, and then when am I going to be able to practice when I'm not at the skate lessons? How am I going to achieve my success? Do I want to just become somebody who can skate to the front? Do I want to be able to skate to the front and back, side to side? Do I want to be able to be out here like Christy Yamaguchi? Like, what are the goals? And what am I doing to get there? So Q1, Q2, that's your homework. Plan it out. Figure out what it looks like in order for you to see success in those areas, and I promise you that will allow you to keep those distractions at bay. That will allow you to keep those SMART goals in front of you, and that will also allow you to use your journal in order to write out what the plan is, where we're going, how we're getting there, and to really track that progress. So I hope that this has been helpful for you with episode 4, and episode 5 will conclude the series. So if you have missed any of the episodes, please make sure you go back and watch those. And then Make sure you comment below, DM me on Instagram, send me an email, whatever. But let me know what some of those goals are so I can hold you accountable and reach out to you and we can figure it out together if you need some help in certain areas, because I want to see everybody win. So you got it, I got it. We're doing big things in 2024 and let's hold each other accountable to do it. So today I'm signing off. Yours truly, Shaanah Montana.